Hi, I'm Lynette Graham, and this is my artist talk for ARA 396. So a little bit about me. I am 23 years old. I am a senior. I am a art major with a focus in animation. I've been drawing traditionally for the past 10 plus years. I've been drawing digitally for about the last 3 months. I recently got a Cintiq tablet in the end of September, so I'm very new to that. I am a aspiring animator. And my preferred mediums for traditional art is a combination of Copic markers and micron pens. And so far in my digital art journey, I've been using Photoshop, and I would like to eventually branch that out into other programs. But so far, I've been enjoying it a lot. So my aspirations, I would love to be a freelance animator at some point. My ideal job would be starting off as an animator for projects that are seen across the internet on platforms such as YouTube, Patreon, etc. Eventually, I could potentially be pulled into a bigger project later on, but I would like to start off with a smaller group, just because that's how I feel like I work better in that environment. So my goal would be to be part of the animation team for a high fantasy series or stories or stuff like that, that the viewers can use as a means of escapism. And ideally, I would like to be part of teams that animate Dungeons and Dragons games and other tabletop high fantasy themed games. So that way, the players and the viewers can use that as a way of escapism, like I said before. And this was the DM's character actually, and he was all excited after he saw that I drew my character before she died, and he's like, "Oh wow, I want one of mine." So I drew his. So Kai is a gunslinger, I believe, was his class. So this was just a shirtless version of him, showing off the scars that he'd gotten from battle and the tattoo on his shoulder. And then this is one of my characters that I've had probably since 7th grade. So I drew her in a little Christmas outfit back in 2019. And this is another character from the Star Wars like realm of tabletop games. I ended up creating my own crew essentially for the backstory for my newer character after the last one that I had died. And this is the tank for that crew. So he's like a heavy gunslinger, I guess. I don't really know what classes he would be, but he's like the heavy lifter of the team. And he's a Deveronian, which is devil-like a devil-like alien species. And this is another one of my art from 2019. She's one of my characters back from middle school. I believe I made her a Lynx, and I played off of this idea. They were like Egyptian themed. She was in another character that I had written some stories with another artist. So they were both Egyptian-based characters. So that's where she came in, and we decided that they were royalty, both of them, and that they were married. So she was a princess and later on became a queen once she had married the other person's character. And this is a pilot again from the Star Wars crew that I had created for myself. In my story, I had decided that he was the one to essentially backstab his entire crew and try to kill them off for money. So that's him, and he's a Chiss, I believe is how they pronounce that species. This is another thing that I did in 2019. I like him a lot. I didn't change him up too much from what their original design was, but I'm still really happy about this piece. And then this is another member of my crew that I created for myself, or my character's backstory. So this is a Twi'lek engineer, and I had in his backstory, I made him an ex-dancer. So he gets into a lot of shenanigans between being an ex-dancer and being an engineer for their ship. So I thought that was really fun. And I'd given him these snake tattoos on his arms that I thought was really cool. And I decided that eventually the entire crew would have some sort of snake tattoo on them, just as I symbolize like they're part of this group of smugglers. And this is another piece from 2019. This is another character of mine that I believe she was a cat. And I made her really fluffy and kept her these monochromatic color scheme for her, just because I do love using blacks and grays and whites and all of that in my art a lot. That's probably the number one color scheme that I go for other than browns. So I really did like this piece, and this is another piece where I'd used some colored pencil in it as well on top of the Copic markers. And I really liked how that turned out with like, the hair and the fur. So this is the last member of the crew that I had made myself, and she is the one that I had implemented into my friend's game after my first character died. So she is a gunslinger herself, and she is again a smuggler, and she had been hired to smuggle some stuff in the current game. So that's where she came in that storyline. And so yeah, she's also Deveronian, like the last demon-like character was earlier on. But the females don't look as devilish, which I think is kind of cool to have that like vast differences between the two genders in the same species. But she is still very red and has the same color scheme, but no horns. And this is her again, playing off of the idea that my last character was a diplomat, and she's this one is a smuggler gunslinger. So I had given her an outfit that I thought would fit for the diplomat of the species, despite the fact that she is not a diplomat herself. So in the situation, she could be like masquerading as a diplomat to get into somewhere for something smuggling related. I don't know, but I was really happy with how this turned out, and the variant in the colors between this light like silvery gray into this like darker almost black color. So I was really happy with how I was able to do that. And I believe that is it. So thank you for listening, and hope you guys liked my art. Bye.